Across ancient empires, executions weren't just punishments. They were public warnings, written in fear. Rulers wanted people to watch, because fear spreads faster than any law. When power and law mix without limits, cruelty becomes a message. Today we're looking at 8 of the harshest execution methods from the ancient world, simply explained. Some are fully documented, some are legendary, but all of them reveal how far authority once went. Crucifixion was one of the most feared punishments in the Roman world. It was reserved for people the empire wanted to erase publicly. It wasn't designed to be quick. It was designed to be seen and remembered. The suffering was part of the warning. Rows of crosses near roads told travelers one thing: never challenge the empire. The landscape itself became a threat. The Roman state used it as a symbol of total control. It said, "We decide what happens to your body." It turned death into a slow public warning, a lesson for anyone watching. Fear did the rest of the work. Number 2. Scaphism. Ancient sources describe a Persian execution method called Scaphism, the boats. It's one of the most disturbing stories of punishment we have. The victim was trapped between 2 boats, unable to escape. The setup alone was meant to break hope. Then nature itself was used as part of the punishment. The cruelty wasn't fast. It was designed to last. Bait like milk and honey was said to attract insects and decay over time. The idea was to turn the environment into the executioner. Whether exaggerated or real, the goal was clear: make suffering a royal threat. It was punishment as a warning to the whole society. Number 3. Greek stories tell of the Brazen bull, a hollow metal statue used for execution. Even the design was meant to terrify before anything happened. The victim was sealed inside, turning the bull into a prison. Once the door closed, the world disappeared. Heat from below made the inside unbearable. The statue became a slow furnace. Legend says the sound echoed through the bull like a terrifying performance. Fear was turned into a show. Even as a legend, it shows how tyranny used fear as theater. Sometimes the story alone was enough to control people. Number 4. Breaking wheel. The breaking wheel was a public execution meant to destroy the body and the spirit. It was a ritual of terror. The victim was bound to the wheel so everyone could see. The point was humiliation as much as pain. Then heavy blows shattered the body slowly as a public spectacle. Each strike was a warning to the crowd. It wasn't hidden. It was done in open squares. People were forced to learn through fear. The message was simple: the state controls your life and your death. Disobedience became a nightmare on display. Number 5. Impalement was one of history's most brutal warning punishments. Its cruelty was meant to echo long after the moment passed. It was meant to terrify entire populations, not just the victim. The horror was psychological as much as physical. Stakes were sometimes displayed in lines to amplify fear. Seeing them was the punishment for everyone else. Rulers used it to say, "Rebellion ends like this." It was power carved into the landscape. And versions of it appeared across many empires and regions. Fear traveled well between rulers. Number 6. Rome had a special punishment for killing your own parent: poena culae. They saw it as the worst betrayal possible. The condemned was sealed inside a sack, completely helpless. It was isolation before death. Then the sack was thrown into water, ending the sentence. A simple act, but terrifying in symbolism. It was tied to the idea that some crimes broke the natural order, so the punishment had to feel unnatural too. So Rome created a sentence meant to feel final and absolute. It was justice with no way back. Number 7. Execution by fire was used across different cultures for the most feared crimes. Fire made punishment impossible to ignore. It wasn't just death. It was meant to erase someone publicly. The flames were a message, not only a method. Fire in public spaces turned punishment into ritual fear. People watched and learned silence. Sometimes it was framed as purification by religion or law. That made the cruelty feel approved by the gods or the state. And the ashes left behind were the final warning to everyone else. Nothing says, "Don't resist," like total disappearance. Number 8. Garrote. The garrote was a device made to kill in a controlled mechanical way. Cold, simple, and terrifyingly official. The collar was placed around the neck, tightening until breathing stopped. It was punishment with no chaos, just certainty. It was deliberate, silent, and brutally efficient. The fear came from how methodical it was. Unlike executions in a crowd, this was execution by system, a machine of authority doing its work. And it became a chosen method in later European history, proof that cruelty can evolve, not disappear. Finally, these methods feel unreal today, but they remind us how fear once ruled societies. History wasn't always about justice, it was about control. History shows what happens when power has no limits. Cruelty becomes policy, and policy becomes spectacle. If you want another chapter of dark history explained simply, tell me your next topic in the comments, and I'll turn it into a clean 2D what-if story.